What's up, y'all? It's your girl J Renee for Prison Ride Radio. I hope that you're doing well. On the phone, I have Dontie Mitchell. Okay, he has an organization that he wants to tell you about that goes by UFD, as well as some things about himself. So we're gonna holler at him, see what he got going on and what he got for us. How you doing, bro?
I'm alright. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. You know, we heard what was going on with you and the things that you were doing. So we definitely wanted to connect. So thank you. All right. So tell the people a little bit about yourself and where you from.
Well, my name is Dontie Mitchell, best known as the family Don Executive. I'm originally from Albany, New York. I was born in Troy, New York. And currently I've been incarcerated now, going on 25 years since I was 17 years old. So I've been in prison longer than I've been in the streets for robbery, two attempt robberies, and related offenses in which I didn't hurt, harm, or injure anyone. So I've been doing this unjust time for the individuals who committed murders and getting less time than I have, but yeah, I'm still in prison.
Yeah, there's a lot of bias when it comes to the judicial system for sure. You know, that's a lot of time, to stand tall for. What has kept you motivated, through that time?
Actually, when I first came up north, I was always this like optimistic type individual. But when I first came up north, I met a couple of brothers that was a part of this organization called the Nubians. That was the acronym that stood for the Nationalist Unified Body and Prison Africans. Getting involved with them kind of like opened up my political and social consciousness. I started learning more about Black history and the history of our people, revolutionary history, sociology, science, political science, etc. So just learning and bettering myself, really kept me motivated.
Damn, that sounds like a really dope organization. I've never heard of it. I'm gonna have to look into that. So speaking of organizations, I know that you have one that goes by UFD. Can you tell the people more about that? First, what UFD stands for, and then what UFD does.
Yeah, sure. UFD stands for the Ujima Paternal Dynasty, and our AKA is OBIMA, and that stands for the Official Black Elite Ambitious Money Making Associates. I founded UFD on July 29th, 2008, actually when I was in the Supermax Southport Correctional Facility. For a long time I have been involved in, doing political work amongst, my peers and younger individuals while I was incarcerated. Being Nubian, we were always taught to be like revolutionary cadre, to be individuals who will go into the community to help organize the community in a way to liberate themselves from, this oppressive and exploitative system that we live under. So, I created UFD as like a, alternative to the gang situation, because I saw that a lot of the youth that were my age at that time, I was 28 at that time, but I had been, I came up through the system. So I used to always see a lot of my peers and younger prisoners getting involved in the gangs, and it's like, I understand why, they would, give so much of themselves to the lifestyle that seemed to be kind of self-destructive. So I felt that maybe it's because they didn't have a positive alternative to turn to. A lot of the other organizations like the Nubians, et cetera, were like too political for the youth.
Right.
So I decided to come up with this, organization to be like a bridge between that for those young men that were incarcerated with me that weren't affiliated or who may not be suitable for that type of life or may want to try to do something different. But UFD is much broader than that. As time went on, I became more politically and socially mature. I kind of like merged the two concepts of the organizations I was involved with, called the New African Ujima Dynasty, which UFD was a field division of, into one. So UFD really is a mutual self-improvement fraternity. And what that means is that, it's for men and women, who are like-minded and who are willing to come together in brotherhood and sisterhood to achieve mutual success and prosperity. So my idea was like, we have a lot of, situations that happen in the community where, economically and financially, our people are not where they need to be. So, in reading certain self-help books like Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, etc., it made me come up with this concept called conscious money. That idea that, if I invest in you, and help you get into a position of financial security and prosperity, and help you get into a position where you're stable in life and you're able to do more for me and the movement.
Right.
So it was just this whole idea of being a service to my people and showing that we can invest in each other while at the same time coming up together.
Right. I love that. And I know the people gonna love it too and definitely appreciate it. What are some of the things that y'all have done thus far, or some of the plans of the things that y'all hope to do?
Well, right now, I'm incarcerated, of course, and that kind of restricts my ability to do anything in the street. But my whole idea, is hopefully when I do finally get out of prison, is to, build an organization where we would be able to help, our members, start businesses, start and expand businesses, getting to, diversifying a investment portfolio so that they can earn their own, financial security through that way, assisting those members who become a part of the organization to get into college, pay off bills, buy a house or a car, be able to help them with child care, provide them with affordable health care. And that's the unique thing. I want to stop right there about health care because, UFD would be titled under 26 USC 501c8 as what they call a fraternal beneficiary association. And this is a history that our people don't know about. Like this type of structure of organization was used back during the Black Reconstruction period and just after that time period in the early 1900s by Black people to spur economic and financial development within Black communities. This is kind of a lost, idea that our people have not really been up on. So it's always been these these other type of nonprofit organizations, those 501c3s and 4s, so they can get tax exempt status, and no one really knows anything about the 501c8s, where we could pull our resources together and provide each other with our own form of health insurance, car insurance, etc. We don't have to go to these these predatory insurance companies in order to provide ourselves with those type of services. And these organizations were very powerful in being able to amass a significant amount of money to reinvest in the community. So, I learned about those type of organizations from reading this book called The Making of Black America by Leron Bennett. And when I really started getting into it and delving deeper, I was like, wow, this is a type of organizational structure our people could really use to come up.
Right. Damn, bro, you done dropped some knowledge on me. I've never heard of the -8. I've only heard of the other ones. So I'm definitely going to look into that and make sure I put it out to the people. Because I think it's probably a lot of people that's never heard about that. How did you come across that info?
It was an article that was written, I believe, in either the Ebony magazine. So there was excerpts from the book, and that was the part that they were focusing on. Was it was like a two-part series. So when I was reading it, they were talking about organizations like the Elks. They were talking about the True Reformers, and I was like, what are these groups like?
Right.
And it's like, oh, these are fraternal groups. Like, you got the Masons, the Shriners, and stuff like that.
Right.
It's like, where's our Black fraternities? We got all these Greek letter associations that a lot of Black people are involved in. But that's Greek culture. That's not Black culture. Like, what about our culture? I'm like, I'm gonna create a new type of fraternity. Then, like, these fraternal organizations are powerful, man, because they unite people across different geographical and different backgrounds together in one brotherhood and sisterhood. So, like, when you become a part of UFD, you become my ndugu, which is a Swahili word that means brother, sister, comrade, or relative. So you my family. So, I'm going to invest my time and energy into my family. So, that right there is powerful. And then you add that concept with, okay, well, we can band together financially and start really investing our money, and we could become like the Black Rothschilds and start buying up shit. know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
buying up our communities and keeping these racist and corrupt cops out of our communities, man, just by recognizing who we are. Like,
That part. I love it. I can see it. I can see the vision, bruh. I most definitely can. I know it's going to be a lot of people that will as well. So let me ask you a more personal question. So the question is, how are you doing behind the G wall? What's going on with you? Are you all right?
I'm holding as, holding strong as much as I can. It gets frustrating. This is the next part I wanted to tell you about the organization, because this goes right into your question. I get repressed a lot because of my UFD activities in here. Like, I use UFD in prison to positively organize, motivate, inspire, educate, and mentor young prisoners and steer them away from gangs, drugs, and violence. I've been doing this religiously since I founded this group. Like, there's probably close to 100 young men in prison who can say that I've taken them under the wing and taught them about UFD and teaching them how to navigate this prison life and trying to give them the encouragement that they need to become better men, so that they don't come back into the communities being destructive, but they come back into the community being productive. I mostly focus on Black and Hispanic men, young men, but the organization is open to anyone regardless of race, color, or creed. But I definitely focus on those who come from communities like us and that look like us. Right. So it seems like I get a lot of repression for. I've been sent to solitary confinement a few times as a result of just possessing our literature. There's nothing threatening about our literature, nothing dangerous about our literature. It's just the fact that these people feel like, I'm doing something I didn't ask them for permission to do, so they feel like because of that, I'm defying them. So when I finally did ask them permission to, form prison chapters of this organization, that they denied me. They denied me on a bunch of bullshit. They lied and tried to say that our organization encourages our members to engage in rebellious behavior and that we condone extremism and violence. Total lie. So I sued them in federal court by myself with no help coming out my pocket. Everybody who I sought help from, like the Prisoners Legal Services, the New York Civil Liberties Union, the Prisoners Rights Project, all these organizations that are supposed to be on board with helping to protect our First Amendment rights, all of them told me they couldn't help, they don't got the resources. So I had to basically do all that on my own. So, and I'm beating them in court. Right. When I challenged them legally on this assumption that this organization condones violence and extremism and encourages our members to engage in rebellious behavior, the Department of Correction reversed course and said, we're not presenting this information for the truth of it. We're just presenting this information that this was one of our reasons. Like,
right.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, the system, they definitely don't play fair, and especially don't play fair when it comes to Black and brown faces. So how do you cope and get through when you're pretty much being targeted for the things that you're doing?
I'm a fighter. That's it. Like, there's a few people, in my dorm, because they recently just came to my dorm and took my UFD poster logo, because I have a logo. Our logo is a pyramid with green trimming, black background, red lettering, etc. So the sergeant came, saw it, took it, told me, Albany said we're going to have to write you a misbehavior report because of your activities on JPay. I use JPay to keep in contact with some of my incarcerated members. Right. So they was like, we're going to write you a misbehavior report. And I'm like, it is what it is. I've been through it before. So the way I cope is I fight. Like, when our freedom fighter ancestors back in the, the 50s and 60s was fighting Jim Crow, man, they knew and understood that in order for you to prove that these Jim Crow laws was wrong, you're going to have to break them. You're going to have to violate them. So if what they're trying to do to me is immoral, I'm going to break the rules. I'm going to disregard them because they're not constitutional. Like I said, I have a First Amendment right to freedom of association, right, and I'm going to stand on that. Right. And a lot of people are like, you got to, kind of temper your, way you do things. You got to, man, with all due respect, miss me with all that. Because those type of compromises are the reason why the system keeps getting away. People want to pussyfoot around what's really going on. Like, you see, we didn't get anything done with the Black Lives Matter thing until people really went in the streets and started, really making noise. Right. Now they want to change laws. But how many Black and brown men that they killed innocently on the street before, they started to decide to pass laws and make Juneteenth, a holiday.
Right.
It ain't, this is what happens, man. People get so caught up in just, trying to do it the way the system do it so you don't ruffle feathers. Well, in order to change things, you're going to have to ruffle some feathers, man.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing nothing wrong, so that's how I cope. That's how I get through it, knowing that the cause that I stand on is righteous, and I'm assured of my victory because, I'm not afraid, man. I'm just not.
That part. We need warriors like that. Our black kings, you know what I'm saying? And we fully support you, y'all. You have more support than you probably even know. You know what I'm saying? And we commend you for everything that you're doing. So is there any last words or anything that you want to say to the people?
You have 1 minute left.
Stop the phone right quick. I'm going to call you back.
All right. I'm ready.
So to answer your question, man, the last thing I wanted to say to the people is just, anybody, man, that's out there that's with the cause, man, I'm looking for a few good men and women that can help us out on the outside, expand and promote this movement, and also to keep the brothers that I got with me in the various facilities on the same page, man. I'm struggling right now to keep everybody in contact. So, we need somebody who want to be ahead of communications and assist us with making sure these brothers get the proper information and guidance they need to do the right thing when they come out. So I'm looking for people who are willing to help out with that. Pretty much, man, I'm just, anybody who's interested in staying in contact or learning more about, my case or the organization, they can hit me up at JPay.com. You just go to JPay.com, include me as one of your contacts, and just, I'm in New York State. My DIN number, my prison ID number is 98A as in Apple 0071. I'll say that again, 98A as in Apple 0071. So I'd love to hear from people who are interested in actually being about for the cause and building a movement like this.
Facts, bro. Let them know how they could connect with you on Facebook and Instagram as well.
But see, that's the problem. Like, that's one of the reasons why I need somebody to help out with communications, because the person I had, running on Facebook, because I got a Facebook and Instagram, Free Dontie Mitchell, and UFD got a page on Facebook and also Instagram, UFDECU. But we don't have anyone to run it right now. There's one person we had, they're no longer in the picture, unfortunately. So even if you try to hit me up those ways, I wouldn't be able to get it unless somebody actually is running it. So, I need help with that too. So.
Okay. We're going to put the information out there, bro. I'm hoping that we can find somebody that, can take charge and handle that business for sure.
Appreciate that.
All right. We appreciate you.